Hello and welcome to this episode of CTO TV. You're with your host, Abhilash Ramachandran. Today, we have with us Anup Kumar, Chief Architect for Data and AI in IBM Asia Pacific. Welcome, Anup, to the show. Our topic today is data governance. So let's start off with why. Why data governance?
Everybody is trying to say that data is the most important assets an organization has. But when I look at all my project and all the interaction I'm having even today, what I found is there's very little people are doing about managing this asset. So from a data governance perspective, just to simplify, for me, it's about three things. Number one is, securing the data, very important, right? Second is organizing in a way, right? Like, you do data classification so that it is easy to use. And the third part is the consumption, right? So you have to make sure that, it's easy for your user to consume the data.
So how do we go about doing this process? Right? As you said, the initial example where data is lying all over, sometimes in silos, at different levels of maturity. Right. But how to go throughout the organization, throughout the enterprise, with a great degree of consistency in achieving all these aspects?
What we need to do is we take an enterprise approach to data governance, right? In that perspective, what is important is, first of all, you build a foundation, a strong foundation based on which your application can be deployed. So once you make this foundation, right, and then you need a mechanism to make sure that you don't just build these policies and governance, but also enforce these policies and governance across their enterprise applications.
What is IBM's approach to this solution?
What we wanted to make sure is no matter what data model is deployed at any of the sites, right, the whole metadata, they can talk to each other. And our research labs and our open source lab, they work together to make sure that we are able to formulate a consistent metadata story. Plus the experience we had with numerous customers, what we did is we took all this numerous technology we had in terms of the data governance, in terms of building a catalog, in terms of data protection, in terms of data virtualization, and we all combined this together. Right, and we brought a new technology just recently called Watson Knowledge Catalog. Right, Watson Knowledge Catalog, and it is powered by our Cloud Pak for Data solution. And what this provides you, it provides you a consistent mechanism where a user can discover the data, he can look at a catalog and he can see what data is lying where. And the most important part, right, which we were not able to do earlier, is like we are able to enforce whatever the policy and the rules we define in this catalog across the enterprise using our data virtualization technology.
Okay. So far we spoke about what is data governance, what is IBM's approach to data governance. We also discussed some use cases, right? The next question I have is around what is the pressing need? Why is it so urgent to get into an enterprise-wide data governance scenario?
If you look at all the regulatory reasons like GDPR and other, and the cost associated if you don't follow. So that is giving a good reason why you should act immediately. The second is, if you look at from a security perspective, the cost of data breach, right, has almost like doubled in last 4 years, so from 3.5 billion,
and which we are hearing about more often nowadays.
Right. So from 3.5 billion on an average, right, to 8.5 billion per breach, which is pretty significant, right? And the third part is more around if you look at anyone who is doing monetizing the data, they are really finding a new way of generating revenue. And for some time, for a lot of enterprises, it's just the survival and the competitive reason, right? They need to fast track.
All right. Before we close out the session, would you like to summarize the high points?
Data governance, right, is basically about, securing, organizing, and making sure, all your users, from data scientist to your business steward to your business analyst, all have easy access to the data, right? At IBM, we recently introduced the Watson Knowledge Catalog in combination with the data virtualization, which is an integrated approach where a user can discover the data, he can secure the data, you can formulate policies, and with the data virtualization interface, what we are doing is we are enforcing this policy across all the tools you have. So there's no more silo approach to data governance. We are talking about integrated enterprise data governance. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.